Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing.
Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 502 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. Are you having a good week? I hope so. I've had a really busy week, but it's been really good. I've been slowly allowing myself to stop thinking about that glamping experience, which you know all about if you listen to episode 501. I seriously, though, cannot wait to do that again. Not the scary part, but the glamping part for sure. I'm going to get right back on that horse. I assure you, I will. All right, so I have a question for you. If your life had a theme song right now, would it be about surviving or would it be about thriving? Well, that's a really good question to ponder. If I had asked myself that question 25 years ago, the answer would be so different from today, and I'm grateful for that. Not only grateful because I feel like I'm thriving right now, but also grateful for the times in my life where I was just surviving. If it weren't for those survival times, this podcast probably wouldn't exist. My dream relationship with my husband, Eric, wouldn't exist. The peace of mind that I live in now may not exist. Because the times we spend living in survival pave the way for either true breakthrough to open the doors to thrive or continued and worsening survival. It's always about how you respond to the things you're experiencing, whether it's of your own doing or just a circumstance out of your control. The way you respond and the actions you take are going to lay the foundation for what happens next. Now, some people spend most of their time just living in survival mode without ever getting out. Others come and go out of survival and thriving, so they kind of come and go into whether they're having a, trauma or they're going through survival, and then maybe for a little while they're thriving. Then some spend most of their time thriving with just small moments of survival because, well, life is going to life. We're none of us going to get out of it without having something happen. But what does it actually mean to be in survival mode? Well, it could be that you are escaping the pain or the boringness of life by drinking too much or gambling or any other compulsive habit that is just getting you to try to numb your feelings. You could be shutting down your emotions as a way to cope with the stress that you have in your life. You could be ignoring health concerns because, well, you don't have time to deal with it. You could be making decisions based on immediate relief rather than considering the long-term consequences. You could be constantly adjusting how you act so that you avoid conflict or rejection, sacrificing your own needs for the sake of someone else's approval. I know I have been guilty of that more than once, probably more than 100 times. I've had my share of living in survival mode and wishing that I had done something different. But here's the thing. I never stayed there. I never allowed myself to wallow in self-pity for long. I would try to figure out the best next step. And usually that would be rethinking the path I was on, or definitely trying not to repeat the same mistake or compound a bad mistake with another bad decision. That is a sure way to keep yourself in constant survival mode. Our goal is to get from survival mode to thriving because that's where we're supposed to be. And the beautiful thing about this life is we don't have to stay in survival mode. We're actually meant to thrive. We're meant to be happy, living a thriving life. I was talking to a friend of mine recently about life, and she's been having to make hard decisions, just like we all do at certain points in our lives. I told her I understand. I was a young single adult at one point, and I was very fortunate to have good friends around me that gave me advice that I needed to hear. Sometimes you don't want to hear it, but if you have people around you giving you good advice, that's valuable. You see, life doesn't have to be hard, but sometimes we make decisions that make it hard. And I've been there. That's why I started going to Tony Robbins events, because I knew if I kept making the decisions I was making, my life was just going to get harder. And when your gut and when the universe is all pointing in one direction and you go in the opposite direction because it's easier in the moment, life can become difficult pretty quickly. Getting comfortable with short-term pain so that long-term you thrive, that's crucial. And we each have it within us to be strong, to stand up for ourselves, to have our own back. Maybe it's time we all step into that role. I read something this week that I could not say any better myself. I was about trying to to say it in my own words, but I just couldn't come up with anything better. So I want to share it with you in the exact words that Aisha with Soft Healing Growth. This is what she said. May you stop being hard on yourself for not doing your best when you're living with a scream inside you. A scream to run away, a scream to disappear, a scream for help, a scream to be loved, a scream to give up because you're exhausted, a scream to be free, a scream no one hears but you. This is a heavy burden you're carrying within you. You can't force yourself to be happy when your mind and your heart are in utter chaos. You can't expect to crush your goals when your nervous system is just too busy surviving. Sometimes simply making it through the day is a significant achievement. So if you find yourself unable to do anything else today, be kind to yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. You didn't have what you needed as you grew to learn how to live this life. It'll take time to heal those deep-seated wounds and outgrow the patterns you had to learn to protect yourself, which no longer serve you. So be kind to yourself. You'll find your way. It just may take a little time. I thought that was beautiful and healing and wanted to share it with you guys, which really means someone else needed to hear it besides me. Maybe it was you. And I also heard something a long time ago that I have never forgotten, and it was forgive yourself for what you did when you were in survival mode. I haven't forgotten that because it gave me relief in a time that I really needed it. And it gave me permission to forgive myself and be kind to myself. When life gets hard, you gotta have your own back. My challenge to you this week is to step into the role of being strong, of standing up for yourself, of forgiving yourself and finally allowing yourself a pathway away from survival into fully thriving, in whatever way that means. It may mean saying no when you want to say no. It may mean saying yes when you want to say yes. It may just mean truly forgiving yourself and taking the next best step. You are meant to thrive. Share this with 3 people who are also meant to thrive. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days.
Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.